Welcome back to another episode of the Korn Ferry Tour Junkies podcast. I'm your host, Garrett Simmons. I know it's Wednesday night, late night. Not a lot of you guys are going to be able to get in your bets. That being said, odds are a little bit late this week. I think everyone's thinking about the Super Bowl, and they are not thinking about the Astara Golf Championship presented by MasterCard at the Country Club de Bogota in Bogota, Colombia. Anyway, for the few out there listening, watching, trying to gamble this week, this is it. This is where we're at, coming at you from a little bit different environment. I'm actually in my parents' office, staying at mommy and daddy's tonight. Why, you ask? Because in the AM, I will be flying out to Phoenix to attend the Waste Management Open and play a little bit of golf and hopefully get into a little bit of trouble. That's that. We're not talking PGA Tour tonight, though. We're talking Korn Ferry Tour. All your Korn Ferry needs. Again, I'm your host, Garrett Simmons, former Caddie, in touch with a lot of players and caddies out there, and can hopefully provide you guys some insight to get those screens greens. Last week, we're finishing up the international stretch. Last week, Carson Young, winner in Panama. Congrats to him. We're going to start to try to do a little bit intro and bio on some of these winners. That some of you might not know for several reasons. A, because they're human beings and deserve to be known. B, more importantly, if they win, there's a great chance they're going to be on the PGA Tour next year. And it's nice to know some of these guys before they get on tour, and you can kind of be one step ahead of the game. Perfect example, Matthieu Pavon, who is a winner in Bogota and now is a fan favorite from DB and Pat on the pod. Carson Young, quick Google search. You might find not every golfer has a LinkedIn, but Carson Young does. Let's see what we do. Let's see what happens when we pull him up on Google. Carson Young, professional golfer at web.com tour. Dude looks sharp. Don't know how old he is. Graduated from Clemson in 2017, so he is not 17, even though he might look like it. A little bit of his bio. Let's see what he's got going on. Carson Young, professional golfer, aspiring to play on the PGA Tour. Well, he is one step closer, folks. Needs to update his LinkedIn profile because he is no longer on a mini tour. He is on the Korn Ferry Tour, soon to be the PGA Tour. Golf taught me many lessons: leadership, religion, New Spring Church, volunteer. I'm not sure he's greeting people on Wednesday nights. If he is, he's in Bogota this week. This is good insight, and we'll get back to Carson Young later. Want to, again, keep continuing to highlight some of these winners so we can get one step ahead once they get to the big show. So, Bogota this week, I have worked this event. It is another one of the fun weeks. Not that any of them aren't fun. Maybe some in Kansas, Wichita. That sucks. But guys you want to look out for are the ones that are going to be straight-laced, get down there, do their business, maybe have been there in the past, are not going to be doing some of the illicit activity down in Bogota that you can easily find yourself in. Strategy, course breakdown, par 71, 7,200 yards, but we're at 8,600 feet in elevation this week. What does that mean? Typically, rule of thumb, every 1,000 feet above sea level, the ball's gonna go 1% farther. Yes, there's temperature, there's air density, there's all that stuff kind of plays into effect. I'm not trying to go Bryson on you guys, but that being said, you can expect the golf ball to go 8% farther for everybody. So a 7,200 yard golf course is going to be like a 6,600 yard golf course at sea level, which obviously is not long. Former winners here: Patrick Cantley in 13, Patrick Rogers in 15, Sebastian Munoz in 16, Matthieu Pavon in 2020. These are all guys that can ball strike, and golf their ball. Not necessarily the longest hitters, but guys that are good ball strikers. So I like watching at good ball strikers this week. Treeline golf course, a lot. Yes, you would say, oh wow, this is a Bombers golf course. It's short, but it's not a golf course where you can just step out and hit driver everywhere. It's really tight and tree line. So you're going to be looking at these guys that are good ball strikers and can putt it well. Maybe good at playing at elevation. These guys are just coming off, being in Panama, being in the Bahamas, obviously at sea level. So it can be tough for these guys to adjust on a weekly basis, especially for people that have not been to Bogota in the past. It's not necessarily just, hey, it goes farther, let's dial in the track, man. People spin the ball differently. And so the ball is going to spin less at higher altitudes because the air is less dense. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration. There's guys that just cannot figure out the altitude. And so I like guys that are used to playing in altitude, have played well in altitude in the past. And so that's what we need to be looking for this week. We'll get right to it. Favorites 50-1. A guy that has been grinding for a couple of years, even worked at a grocery store during the pandemic to keep food on the table. Eric Barnes, 27-1. He's had a hot start this year. He's overdue. I like a guy like this to come out to Bogota. He's going down there. He's been there before. And I like someone like Eric Barnes to get the job done at 27-1. Another guy I love, Roberto Diaz, Bobby Diaz, 35-1. Again, another guy who can speak the language. He's from Mexico, not Colombia, but is familiar with being overseas and familiar with playing golf in other countries. I like Bobby Diaz coming down 35-1. Stayaways in this category. Jeremy Paul, love the guy, great dude, great player. I don't like guys that have maybe not been to Bogota, maybe not played in Bogota, because it is kind of a unique situation and a unique golf course. On to the mid-range, 50-1 to 80-1. I love Joey Garber. I think he's going to win this year. I think he's going to get his card again this year. He's got grit. Cody Palmer, great friend of mine, is on the bag. Love their mojo. I like Joey Garber at 60-1. Again, another great ball striker and a guy to look out for this week. Going back to our guy last week, I like Carson Young. How many times do we see multiple winners early on in the season on the Korn Ferry Tour? These guys get hot, they make a ton of birdies, and they win back-to-back. And that's not uncommon to see. So I like a guy like Carson Young, who is a youth group kid. Again, is not going to get in all that trouble like some of these other guys might get into. So I like Carson Young going back-to-back this week at 65-1. Stay away. Mid-range. Vince India. Would I be surprised if he goes out and shoots 700 day one? He is a first round. He's the Corey Connors of the Korn Ferry Tour. He can come out and get to a hot start. I just don't like him to get the job done this week. I think it could be a long week. He's going to be a guy that is no stranger to fun in Bogota. Stay away. Vince India, 60-1. Long range, 80-1 to 125-1. We are going back to my boy Tane Lee. Good finish last week in Panama. Great start to the season. I like him at 100-1. This is another guy. This is your quote Abraham answer. You bet him every week. He's going to win. You put $1 on him. You put $100 on him. Whatever your units are. Load up Tane Lee every week, and you'll find a winner before the season's over. Love the guy. Obviously, have worked a couple events for him last year on the PGA Tour. Great dude. Really, really good head on his shoulders. An amazing ball striker. I like Tane Lee this week at 100-1. Another guy I like, TJ Vogel. He's been up and down the PGA Tour. He's Mr. Monday for a while. I like TJ Vogel. Again, another really great ball striker coming in at 100-1. Last up in the long range category, I like Corey Pereira. Well, that name sounds familiar. Why? Yes, because that is the brother of Mito. Former winner here. I like Corey coming in and getting the job done at 20-1. Great value there. Bombs. My long shot of the week. I love Evan Camilo Ramirez. Sebastian Munoz won this event again back in 2016 as an, I believe it. No, I think it was a sponsor's invite, not an amateur with no status. We all know how that turned out. I like a guy from Colombia who might have grown up playing here and is familiar with the golf course and can play at elevation. So I like this value at, yep, you heard me, 420-1. You heard it right. You put $1 down, you win $420. You put $100 down, that's 42 large. That's my picks this week. I know I'm off on a little cold streak after hitting a banger on week one and slowing down a little bit, but I hopefully to get back on track and catch up to TB, who's picking a winner every week. So that's it for the week. Again, Bogota. hopefully these odds are going to come a little bit earlier in the week for the rest of the year once the Super Bowl gets done, once odds start, books and odds makers start learning who these guys are a little bit and can set these odds earlier, so I can hopefully be coming at you guys on a Tuesday or a little bit earlier in the week, so you have a little bit of time before your bedtimes to get these bets in before first round on Thursday. That's it for the pod. We're going to be back next week in somewhere in Florida. I should probably know where we are next week, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I don't think I have anything else for you guys. That's it. Thanks for all the support, guys. Click subscribe, 5 stars, review. Give me all your love, and I will see you guys next week. You might see me if you follow me, Twitter, Garrett Simmons, G.Simmons on Instagram. You might see me getting into some trouble this week in the Waste Management Open, heckling all in DB and Pat's picks on 16. Hopefully I don't get booted, but I will be there, and hit me up if you're around. Would love to touch base with any of you knuckleheads out there. That's it. Garrett Simmons, Korn Ferry Tour Junkies podcast. Bogota. Best of luck to all you guys taking my advice this week. See ya.